Good evening. I have this new habit. I put a stopwatch on. I start talking so I don't bore myself before I bore you. So, good evening to everyone. Thank you for being with us tonight. Looking around the room, I see so many people that we've known from the last 9 years and well beyond the last 9 years. But what I do see throughout is one of the finest gatherings of hearts and minds in support of education, freedom, and progress that a person could ask for. All here to champion our beloved American University of Beirut. So it fills me with a great sense of satisfaction and pride to see you. I know that each and every one of you brings a unique perspective to the many wonders and challenges facing AUB, Lebanon, and the region, which will lead to some very lively and important conversations. I'm sorry to interfere with those conversations temporarily, but this is one of the many things that makes these gatherings really important. Before I get into the body of the speech, I want to complain that these three troublemakers stole my thunder, so I'm going to go off script a little bit. So tonight is a night to thank many people and to remind you that Khuri is going nowhere. Among our most active trustees are our emeriti trustees. And I'm pretty sure I have all of his zip codes, having visited him in Bethlehem throughout Massachusetts. Philip has been more than a magnificent chair. He's been a partner, a mentor, a friend to many. The man has more dignity, patience, class, and wisdom in his pinky than most battalions do. So, Philip, thank you, brother. There are good things to come from the Khuri family. I'd also like to acknowledge Abdul Qadifa, a dear friend who's stepping with his own size 48 shoes into Philip's size 48 shoes. Abdul is an extraordinary entrepreneur, a friend. He's going to do a magnificent job leading the AUB board. And Abdul, as Philip is going to tell you, your number one job is to keep some of us on a short leash, maybe a shorter leash for me and a couple of the trustees. I think it's fair to say that despite everything that's happening around us in Lebanon, the region, and the world, and I think you all know that an awful war has broken out, and our hearts ache every day with every loss of innocent life. Every single loss of life diminishes us as a human race. There is no joy, no glory in war, nothing good from violence. But in spite of all this, AUB continues to endure and to thrive. And we're asked, how do we keep plugging away? How does it seem that in the most difficult of times, the university experiences periods of growth, of inspiration, of impact? And that has to do with the 150 plus year history of the university. I have to be careful. I have a Pulitzer Prize-winning, award-winning, the newest member of the National Advisory Committee, and Kai Bird, whose movie script will hopefully be the first ever 3-hour R-rated movie to break $1 billion. Welcome, Kai. But the university has been through very difficult times, and the way it's navigated these difficult times is it's created the space for an open dialogue without prescribing that dialogue by telling people what they're supposed to think or what they can say. That happened in World War I, when I'm sure the leaders of the American University of Beirut felt very strongly about the fact that Mount Lebanon, which supplied most of their student body, lost a third of its population from starvation and pestilence. And yet they stood up to make sure that more people survived, and in fact, the Blisses and the Dodges were successful in getting grain to Mount Lebanon. It happened during the Lebanese Civil War, where the university and its medical center stood tall, and it has to happen now. We have some of the most thoughtful, opinionated, creative people in the world on our campus, and we don't want to tell them how to think or what to think. We just want to teach them. how to get better and how to be more vibrant. That space, it's a space where people can think, share, learn, believe, and grow strong so that they can carve out their own place in the world. So we'll do whatever it takes to maintain that remarkable, irreplaceable space because we must. This is the kind of space that lasting peace is built on, because it has equity, it has understanding, and it has that core of humanism. As Malala Yousafzai said, let's pick up our books and pens. They're the most powerful weapons, and these are the pens that our community wields at AUB. So we will continue to pick up those books and pens, and we'll continue to do them no matter how difficult the circumstances. I don't want to give you another roller coaster ride through the challenges we've had through the last 3 years, but in June 2021, the World Bank declared Lebanon's economic collapse the third worst since 1850. The raft of macroeconomic metrics that were measurable have multiplied. Suffice to say, the country is in badly need of infrastructure, investment, governance. Essential public services like water and electricity have largely been taken over by para-legal suppliers, and there's no permanent head of the central bank, no permanent president. Army chief is next. We're trying to see how many positions can be filled, but throughout all of this, actually, we've managed at the university to not only survive, but to pick up our pens as our weapons and to adapt. And what we've done is we've changed the fabric of the university to the point where there are almost twice as many people who get an education for free at AUB as the number of people who pay full tuition. Last year, 88% of students got some financial assistance, the vast majority of patients. And you could ask how we're still standing, but I would say we're not just standing. And in the last few months, we've had the highest ever number of early applicants in Beirut in the history of our university. And as many of you know, we get some of the very best students in the university. Prior to 2019, we would get under 400 early applicants, and this year between Beirut and Paphos, we have more than 2,000. And this fall, we started to change our strategy a little bit. We've been a purely need-based institution. We've introduced, on top of the grants to those folks who get merit scholarships for finishing in the baccalaureate, top Lebanese or French baccalaureate, or in the top 10 composite scores at AUB, we're launching 70 new grants as President's Merit Scholarships on top of, not instead of, the financial aid that our neediest students get. So we're proud to have graduated students from all over the world. We got our largest ever grant this year from the MasterCard Foundation. By the way, if any of you can figure out a way to not get your mother to call you when you're on stage, let me know, because I haven't mastered that one. But we're proud to have graduated students like Rahim Bahati of Uganda, who learned about the MasterCard Foundation Scholars Program at AUB on Facebook, left Kampala, earned his master's at AUB in 2020, and just this year completed a research fellowship with the Human Sciences Research Council South Africa. And Adnan Makarim of Mount Lebanon, our original source of students, was the first in his family to graduate with a university degree when Adnan got his bachelor's in 2018, and then his MD at our Faculty of Medicine in 2022. Now is a postdoctoral research fellow at Harvard Medical School's Division of Cancer Surgery. Our students are fighting for a lot of good causes. We have students who, as their PhD thesis are studying how to put an end to Lebanon's unfair kafala system. AUB Mediterraneo, our brand new campus in Paphos, which we helped inaugurate, has brought in a new class of 53 students. Where's our rector? Wasim al-Hajj. So Wasim had to recruit students starting in May when the vast majority of top students have committed. He still brought in 53 top students, many of them with 1520, 1580 out of 1600 in their SATs, and even got kids to walk away from what used to be called in my era Big Ten schools and Ivy League schools to come to a brand new startup. And this includes people like the twins, Mahmoud and Abdullah Bataini from Jordan. Where's Marwan? Yes, we have students, Marwan, in Beirut and in Mediterranean. And these two balance being on the Honda racing team with pursuing degrees in PPE, philosophy, politics and economics, and engineering. Li Bui is the first kid we've gotten from Vietnam in a long time. She's the first member of her family to go to college. She's majoring in business administration, and she's a classically trained pianist as well. So that's just some of the students that we're getting. They're from between the two campuses, more than 85 different countries. And we continue to innovate and excel from the medical perspective. It's been 2 years since we vaccinated all but 15 out of 15,020 members of our community with the COVID-19 vaccine. But the AUBMC, which is known for pioneering healthcare, in the last 5 years carried out the first ever pediatric heart-lung transplant outside of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia's Royal Specialty, King Faisal Royal Specialty Hospital, and this year the first successful twin separation. In addition to that, we've launched our own platform for cancer genetics, and I'm happy to say of those twin who were separated in January, one is home, healthy, normal, the other is going home soon. So this is part of what we're able to do. But we're only able to do that because we have an extraordinary board of trustees and unmatched friends like all of you. So this is our way of saying thank you to you. So I don't know if Philip will allow me to publicly disclose this, but when he and I were negotiating for me to take this job 9 years ago, put in my contract, you will never be bored. And he has been as good as his word. We recently, with the board support, purchased our first ever community hospital, the Kasserwan Medical Center, launched the AUB online, and we were able to increase our support for patients at the AUBMC. Last year, our Medical Humanism Fund supported the treatment of 76 financially disadvantaged patients, up from 41 the previous year, and we raised $5 million for cancer support last December 22 for needy patients. Something only, I think, 8, if my counts are accurate, I'm pretty sure they are, since it's my field, 8 adult cancer institutes in the US had ever successfully done in a single telethon. So this has all been wonderful, and we're drawing to a close in the next few months. We will announce the close of our capital campaign, the Boldly campaign, which has been led by a number of extraordinary people, but from day one by the wonderful Imad Balbaki. Where is Imad? Our senior vice president. And with the inspiration, drive, and oversight of Alex Kirkland. So where's Alex? The major battle had been fought before we came on board, which was to make it a $500 million campaign, but we were able to convince the board to go for $650 million, thanks to the naming gift for the Maroon Samaan Faculty of Engineering, still the largest gift. We've gotten donations from 94 different countries, 61,842 donations from almost 25,000 donors, and almost 78% of those, and you, are first-time donors, which is remarkable. So we'd like to say thank you for that. It's just incredible support. A word or two about our faculty and staff. And, yeah, I forgot to hit start when my mother called me, so I have no idea how long I've been speaking, but it won't be much longer. In the last year, look, you're only ever as happy as your unhappiest child, and I'm pretty sure I've been her unhappiest child for a long time, so can't blame her. This year, our faculty members received 3 of the 6 Kuwait prizes. 3 of the 6 awarded. This is after the King Faisal prize, the most prestigious prize in the Arab world. And we had our first ever member inducted into the British Academy, Said Hanafi. So many AUB stars among the faculty had major recognition over the last few years that finally, where's our wonderful provost, Zahir Dawi? Zahir. So Zahir and I decided that rather than keep sending letters, we would have one event for 50 people, and we still somehow missed a few, but we had more than 60 people who've been awarded major prizes in the last 2 years alone. We have 2 of the specially designated, highly impactful scientists in the region, and Alan Shadi, who's here with us today, our Dean of Engineering, and Ilian. This is a very rigorous list that measures not just citations, but impact on the overall field. And we have our first ever alumnus who won a Nobel Prize. And yes, we'll collect your Pulitzer Prize, Kai, because you're an alum too. So it's been a great period of accomplishment. Can we take credit for the movie? Chris Nolan cut us some slack. But it's been a period where there's been an enormous amount of good work, but a great deal of challenges. The fact is that we represent a set of core values of acceptance of the other, of open freedom of speech, open dialogue, push towards democratic values that are in recession in the current era. These are being pressured. Autocracy is more efficient than democracy. David, I remember you were quite impressed with the efficiency of autocracies. But we're not shying away from our values. We're doubling down on these values because we believe that we can represent them as well, if not better, than any other American or British or European institution in the world. We believe that this is really about being citizens of the world. Bob Dylan once wrote, "I think of a hero as someone who understands the degree of responsibility that comes with his freedom." I think of a hero as someone who understands the degree of responsibility that comes with his freedom. This year, we've been talking to our students, faculty, and staff about the importance of citizenship. Citizenship being a blend of accountability and belonging. One of the finest, brightest engineers in the world, Dina Katabi, we awarded an honorary doctorate to this spring, in the National Academy of Everything, like our own Huda Zughbi, told me it was only when I went to AUB that I felt a real sense of belonging. So AUB gives people, so many people in this room, a sense of belonging. There also must be a sense of accountability. Accountability to those less fortunate, to the societies that we serve. I'm not recommending the hero shtick that Dylan believed in, because as I've told our faculty many times, be happy you're a faculty. The promotion is assistant professor, associate professor, full professor. The only promotion from hero is martyr. I don't recommend that. But Dylan was right. We need to accept all of us, the degree of responsibility that comes with our freedom and not take it for granted. That freedom is the backbone of everything great that our university and the finest universities in the world have produced. So we're going to continue wielding our books and our pens in our decades worth of resilience and anti-fragility forged in the currency of change, and overcome these obstacles of circumstances. I expect that AUB will continue to get better, continue to be better to others, and continue to grow in impact and consequence. We're not under any delusions about the size of the task in the current environment, but I think as this wonderful board and this magnificent leadership team, faculty, staff, and students have shown, and our remarkable alumni, we're up to it. We're looking forward to a better future with you, a brighter, a more inclusive future for all, with no one left behind. With that, I want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for being who you are. Thank you for your generosity to AUB. This is an investment in a better world. Have a good evening.